Welcome to the Aquarius podcast. Let's dive into the chaos of the Aries new moon solar eclipse and find out what this eclipse astrological transit has in store for all of us. This new moon transit is happening on March 29, 2025 at 3:57 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. The placements for that day are Sun in Aries at the 9th degree, Moon in Aries, Mercury in Aries, Venus in Pisces, Mars in Cancer, Jupiter in Gemini, Saturn in Pisces, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, Pluto in Aquarius. We have the North Node in Pisces. That is a collective placement for all of us as one human race, and that placement is retrograde. We have Lilith in Scorpio. We also have Chiron in Aries and Fortune in Aquarius, as well as a vertex in Virgo. So that's all the placements for that day. It's important to note that what that means is that we're having a Pisces stellium day right along with an Aries stellium day. When you bring Pisces and Aries energy together in this manner, you're going to get emotional explosions and confusions. Another added bonus to this transit is that Mercury in Aries is also retrograde and Venus in Pisces is also going to be retrograde. So we have retrograde Venus and retrograde Mercury happening at the same time. Those two affect our communication and also our sense of abundance in the world. So first, you should expect some real passion during this transit and some cold, hard truths. This Aries new moon happening at the Sagittarius degree is reuniting our ability to fight for ourselves. As the first sign of the zodiac, Aries embodies the archetype of the trailblazer, unafraid to go into new territory and conquer new challenges. This new moon is here to wake us up and plug us back into our soul's confidence and boldness. This Aries new moon is a major turning point for all of us in the astrological calendar because it is connected to this partial solar eclipse, which is only going to be adding initiative, unpredictability, and chaotic energy to this cosmic event. So let's dive into the nature of Aries energy so you understand a little bit more about what energies are going to be at the forefront as you're experiencing this eclipse season. Aries energy is fire energy. It's burning up with passion, strength, and fearlessness. Aries naturally takes charge while radiating enthusiasm and excitement. As a cardinal zodiac sign, Aries is a natural leader. Action is their motto. They're driven by a need to start things, to change things, to make things happen, no matter the challenges that may lie ahead. They're often impulsive in their action and reactions in their effort to move their agenda forward. Aries is a free thinker, and naturally they are autonomous. They're quick to charge forward even when they don't have all the answers. This is why they prefer being in the driver's seat rather than being in a position where they have to take orders from other people. You see, Aries is a natural leader. They are good at asserting themselves, dominating others, and communicating their boundaries. Symbolized by the ram, Aries is both energized and passionate. They possess a vibrant, energetic nature to them that is often optimistic in their pursuit of their dreams. Unwilling to bend to the will of others, Aries, being ruled by Mars, is fierce. They have a strong desire to succeed and to stand out from the rest in the best way possible. So in anything Aries does, they seek to dominate. Aries thrives on competition and challenges because it motivates them to keep getting better, to stay positive, and to eagerly reach the top. Much like fire signs Leo and Sagittarius, Aries is associated with passion, enthusiasm, courage, a certain boldness that cannot be contained, and a zest for life, leading them to adventurous pursuits and creative endeavors that very few people have ever been brave enough to go after. However, what sets Aries apart from the other fire signs is that it is the most masculine of all the zodiac signs. All fire signs are masculine, but Aries is the most masculine of all the masculine zodiac signs. As such, Aries has supernatural strength. Their willpower is unmatched. Their courage and determination is simply otherworldly. Who is going to be the most impacted by this transit? You've got it. Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn, especially if these placements are at the rising. Pay attention to the degrees on your chart that are associated with these signs, as those are also areas that will be affected as well by this transit. Now, let's go over what you can expect from this Aries new moon in terms of your personal development. This Aries new moon is inviting you to go on a journey, and it wants you to bravely go on this journey because it's going to reward you with everything you've ever wanted. I need you to look at your astrology natal chart and see where in your chart you have Aries energy, what house. I'm going to go over all of them right now. I need you to know this is not a foolproof science because I don't currently have your chart in front of me. Everyone's chart is different, but assuming that everything is falling into a pattern, for Aries rising, obviously it's going to be your first house, which is your house of self, your house of ego. What I'm going to do is attach a diagram here that tells you what each house on your natal chart speaks to, and that is the theme with regards to the area of your life that you need to really confront bravely with truth and courage in order for you to elevate from the life you're currently living to the next one, the life of your desires. So for Taurus rising, this falls for you in your 12th house, which is your subconscious mind. Gemini rising, your 11th house, the house of friendship. Cancer rising, the 10th house, your house of career and public image. Leo rising, the 9th house, your house of higher learning and expansion. Virgo rising, 8th house, which is the house of transformation. Libra rising, 7th house, which is the house of partnerships. Scorpio rising, 6th house, which is the house of health, wellness, and daily routine. Sagittarius rising, 5th house, which is the house of pleasures. Capricorn rising, 4th house, which is the home and family. Aquarius rising, 3rd house, which is the house of communication. And Pisces rising, 2nd house, which is the house of resources, as well as value, what we consider valuable versus what isn't valuable to us. So look at your personal chart to see where Aries falls, and that is a specific area of your life where you want to set goals that align with the future that you want for yourself. Imagine your perfect life and examine what aspects of your life do you need to change currently for those things to come in harmony with your higher self. Who you are right now is frozen in this time and space, and the universe wants to break you out of that mold and invite you into a higher consciousness, a higher vibration, a more fulfilling life, a life that you manifested. And you want that manifestation to feel good. You want it to feel real, to feel raw, to feel like it's like a perfect fit for you. And that process requires letting go of people, places, and situations that don't feel like they are the perfect place for you. This new moon solar eclipse transit is all about new beginnings, a fresh new start, a clean slate. Whether we like it or not, the universe will be forcing us into new positions. This is happening for our soul's evolution on Earth. You see, we agreed to come to Earth on a mission to become the highest version of ourselves. In order to do that, we have to be willing to reckon with the parts of ourselves that are not serving our highest good. During a new moon transit, what we have the opportunity to do is plant new seeds, create new realities, establish new destinations that we want to travel towards, and set goals and intentions around those things. This is a perfect time to set some new intentions, to pursue our true passion, not what the world has sold us, and to take bold action towards our goals. It's time to be honest about what makes us feel alive, what makes us feel powerful, what makes us feel confident. With Aries energy, we're more likely to take risk, to be impulsive, and to trust our instincts. This can be both an empowering and terrifying experience at the same time. As you can see, we're dealing with both the insecurities of Pisces and the restlessness of Aries energy. So we're likely to push ourselves outside of our comfort zone if we're doing things correctly, and we're likely to do things or to think of things that we have never thought about before. On that same wavelength, we're also going to be more likely to discover that we're capable of so much more than we've given ourselves credit for previously. This eclipse season puts matters related to our relationships back at the focus, as we're dealing with Chiron being in Aries and our Lilith being in Scorpio. Issues around sexuality, personal sense of power, financial autonomy, the ability to decide what we want to do with our lives are going to be at the forefront. We're going to be confronted with our darkness, the ways in which we've given our power away in relationship. But the most important theme of this transit is going to be around our relationship with ourselves. Personal goals, courage, independence, and self-assertion are going to be the focus. It's about new beginnings regarding any of these issues, but at the same time, it's about closing karmic cycles. It's about making final realizations and final decisions. So feel free to take space to be brave and to focus on your own selfish needs for once in your life. The universe is aligning you with long-term changes that are going to make your life feel more like your life, more raw, more sincere, more authentic, more self-crafted. This eclipse season will expose and challenge our issues around autonomy, self-direction, and a personal sense of courage. We might even shock ourselves as we find our voice, a renewed sense of purpose, and personal agency in our lives. So I encourage you to take that step forward and to make this transit count. Trust yourself, believe in yourself, face those demons that are trying to undermine you and keep you small in partnerships that do not fulfill your needs. This brazen Aries energy can sometimes lead to chaos, especially if we're not careful. We may find ourselves acting without thinking, or ignoring the potential consequences of our actions, or jumping into things without a clear plan, or even an exit strategy in the event that what we were seeking does not come to us. Be mindful of starting unnecessary fights or conflicts with others, drowning ourselves even in our own anxiety as we continue to battle ourselves. Resist the urge to engage in unnecessary conflict both with yourself and with others. The key is to find inner balance between our needs and the needs of others. We are one human race, one human community, and we all must live together on Earth. There is no other place in our entire solar system where we can currently live. So we have to balance our needs for personal freedom and independence with our needs for stability and security, as well as the need for others to have those things as well. Every good leader knows that actions without a plan is just wasted energy. Over the next 2 weeks, some circumstances are going to come up that are going to nudge us or encourage us to take action after we're able to finally see where we haven't been true to ourselves, where we haven't been our most authentic selves. Relationships and situationships that have been causing us to feel down on ourselves or feel in a rut or to feel drained out of our life force are going to be exposed. This is happening to force us to face the truth and to take action to create a better future for ourselves. Remember, eclipse season carry Scorpio energy. So having Lilith in Scorpio during this transit is boldly pointing in the direction of becoming the hero that we're seeking, of basically owning our personal sense of power and trusting in our ability to create change in our lives, even when those changes need us to end certain things. You see, changes and endings are necessary for our soul's evolution. Although scary, these changes are a gift when you're willing to step back and step out of fear and step out of ego. You can see that this is a gift, an opportunity to free us from the bondage of our karmic past. Just because that's the way it's always been done doesn't mean it was right. Nor does it mean that it was right for you. Nor does it mean that it's right for now. Letting go is required for us to take flight. These changes are happening so we can find the courage to face our reality, handle whatever is necessary for us to handle, so we can be back in control of our lives. This Aries energy is putting us back in the driver's seat of our lives. If we've lost ourselves along the way, this Aries new moon is going to bring us new fire, new passions that will drive us once again to feel excited about living. We might find ourselves drawn to new opportunities, new relationships, new hobbies, but we have to remember to stay grounded and focused. So let's not get caught up in the excitement and lose sight of what we're trying to accomplish. One of the things Aries as a zodiac sign traditionally struggles with is getting started, but not actually finishing. It's important that we commit ourselves to our long-term goals so we don't get distracted. We don't want to chase after every impulse, every emotion, every feeling. There's a meditation that I do with my daughter at night that helps us really identify our feelings. And what the meditation process takes you through is really understanding that throughout the day, we have a lot of emotions, all of us, because we're humans. Every minute or so, we experience different thoughts, different experiences with our eyes, our ears, our feelings, and then we start developing emotions that come up as a result of that. What we need to recognize as matured adults is that emotions are a normal and healthy part of life. However, our attachment to them is not. So in my daughter's meditation, what it talks about is being the pond, recognizing that the pond has all the feelings, overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, excited, happy, appreciated. All these emotions are in the pond. So we don't want to be hyperfixated on, as an example, anxiety, when there's all these other emotions in the pond. We want to be the pond. We don't want to be overly attached to an emotion. We don't want to be easily distracted by our emotions. We don't want to chase after every shiny object that catches our eye, every bolstering emotion that comes to the forefront. We have to remember what we're really working towards and focus on building that dream. This is a good time to focus on some of the constructive traits of the Ram, such as being enterprising, being straightforward, being honest, being sincere, being courageous. And in doing so, we can discover how positively we can incorporate these traits into our lives to improve the quality of our lives. Aries new moon are generally a good time for trying new things, for creating new realities, for being innovative, for confidently claiming a new beginning to our lives. Is a time to be assertive, to take control, to start a brand new project, and to discover our own inner voice. So, how can we harness the power of Aries new moon without getting lost in the chaos? Number 1, be mindful of your feelings, of your thoughts, of your motivations, your actions, and your intentions. Take some time to reflect on what you truly want and be honest with yourself about your fears and your desires. Perhaps what you're really seeking is far away. Perhaps it's moving to another land, moving to another location. Perhaps it's a brand new beginning in an entirely new place. I need you to respect that awareness and trust it. I don't know about you, but for me, as a person living with anxiety, I'm very good at catastrophizing. What I mean by that is it's easy for me to think of all the ways that something can go wrong. But my reality is never as dark as my mind can be. My reality is always sweeter than my fears. Therapy has really helped me isolate the negative voices in my head and renewed my belief in myself. So now I live life more fearlessly. It doesn't mean that I don't have the anxious thoughts. I do have them. I am aware of them, but I do not allow them to dictate my life. I choose to separate my thoughts from my reality. In doing so, I become an observer of my thoughts, which is much better than who I used to be, which is somebody who reacted to my thoughts without even realizing that I was having them. This new moon transit is calling you to reclaim your authentic reality. And that means battling against your shadows, your fears, your anxiety, your own self-imposed negativity, and freeing yourself from that cage so you can regain the boldness that you need to look at those demons in the face and tell them that you're going to do it in spite of the negativity. You're going to do it in spite of the fear. Nobody can stop you but you. You're in charge. This is your story. You're writing it. You decide how it's going to go. Did you know that Aries, as a zodiac sign, has the very best instincts out of the entire zodiac? Don't be afraid to act on that impulse. Listen to that hunch. Take that risk. Aries learns through experience and action. So now is the time to actually do something. It's a perfect time to treat yourself to a little adventure and see what you're really made out of. And if you're anything like me, you're probably a heck of a lot stronger than you give yourself credit for. The partial solar eclipse adds an added layer of intensity to this already potent mix. You see, during an eclipse, the moon passes between the earth and the sun, temporarily blocking the light of the sun. This can amplify our emotions because when our ego is diminished, we can get into what's real, and those are our feelings, our emotions. Our emotions make us more aware. So you might feel more sensitive, more reactive, more prone to anger, more willing to engage in fights and drama. It's as if the universe is turning up the emotional volume to force us to confront our deepest fears, desires, and insecurities. It's also a good cycle under which to discover the benefits of expressing ourselves with confidence and authenticity, and speaking our truths and sharing our real feelings. Expressing ourselves as we are without putting on fake energy is very important for us to come into alignment with our higher selves. Our divine soul's purpose on this earth requires truth. It's time to be more independent and be more confident in our essence, in our ability to create the life of our dreams. Pluto in Aquarius is about rediscovering our authentic selves. We need to find ways to learn how to rely on ourselves more and to be happy about doing what we want without feeling guilty about it. It's time to stop blaming other people for not being enough of what we need, for not helping us, and instead focus on ourselves and clarify what we can do for ourselves. Our happiness in this life is contingent upon us and our abilities and our own sense of personal power and purpose. Instead of focusing on ourselves and what we can do, many of us have wasted years of our lives focusing on others and what we can't do. Our happiness is contingent upon our self-sufficiency. We need to learn to know and respect our limits, our abilities. It's time to revitalize our worldview through experiences that break us away from the routine of life and involve doing something new and fresh and bold, and might I add, perhaps a little daring. Relationships will be especially challenging during this transit, as we're more likely to react impulsively or to take things personally or to misunderstand the actions of other people. It's crucial that we use our words to communicate clearly, honestly and respectfully. We have to be willing to listen to each other's needs and concerns. Relationships require the energy from both people. The thing is, this Aries new moon might bring about an intense need for independence. Those of us who have been playing small and have been dumbing ourselves down and making ourselves small to make other people feel comfortable are going to feel this rage coming up within us. This divine, dark, feminine rage, in an effort to reclaim our autonomy, our self expression. And sometimes that rage can clash with our need for connection, intimacy, and togetherness. So it's really about understanding this polarity and finding balance within. This new moon aligns with Mercury and Venus retrograde. So it's going to be hard for us to see our path clearly. There's going to be some discomfort with defining what a perfect life looks like for us, some discomfort with clarifying what abundance would look like for us. But one thing that is going to be consistent is that the past is going to feel very wrong in a very strong way. So, right now, we won't be able to run away from the truth of the discomfort that we feel about where we are right now if we are, in fact, not happy with where we are. As we reflect on all the silly decisions that we've made in the past that have gotten us to where we are now, we might feel a sense of vulnerability with that new truth. And it's okay to sit with that discomfort. This discomfort may feel too real for some people, but one thing's for sure, you won't be able to ignore it. It is, in fact, motivating us to embrace a new beginning and to go on this new journey. Mars, the ruler of Aries, harmonizes with Saturn and Uranus as well as Pluto and Chiron energy beautifully during this time, suggesting a constructive desire to heal, to acknowledge past mistakes, to move forward, and transform our lives for the better on a brand new journey. This eclipse will bring hidden truths to the surface, uncomfortable truths, revelations that can help us move forward. It's going to push us towards releasing old patterns and embracing new perspectives. It's a time for radical honesty, both with ourselves and with other people. We might need to confront our own shadows, our own darker impulses and desires, our own drives, and integrate them into our conscious awareness. This process of integration of the shadows and the light can be painful for many of us. This is why many of us avoid going to therapy, that the exposure of our darkness is necessary for healing to take place. If we're willing to be brave and courageous and embrace this invitation from the universe, what we will be given is a chance for profound transformation and the evolution of our soul. The restlessness of this Aries eclipse might make us feel hasty. Let's work towards being grounded in ourselves and avoid jumping to conclusions. Yes, we want to be assertive. We want to take control. We want to dominate. We want to speak our mind. But we also want to consider how other people feel and how they might react to our words. There is a big difference between asserting ourselves from a place of healthy confidence and asserting ourselves from a place of insecurity. Being cruel, being brash, being unnecessarily unkind is not what you do when you feel confident. It's usually rooted in a false sense of superiority, which is not brave at all. As we navigate the chaos of this Aries new moon and the partial solar eclipse, it's essential that we stay grounded, centered, and compassionate. We have to be willing to adapt, to be flexible, to trust in the universe's plan, even when things seem unclear or even confusing. This is a time for transformation, rebirth, and renewal if we're willing to go within and trust our intuition. This eclipse is closer to the north node of the moon, which spells unknown emotional territory. In some ways, so we can choose to trust that everything is happening for our greatest good. So pull out your astrology natal chart,
because I want you to be aware that major developments in the personal areas ruled by Aries in your chart are likely to occur over the next 6 months. It is the perfect time to make changes that address long-standing issues that you've been facing. There is some finality, though, to this transit. As I mentioned, this is Scorpio energy. So we can't go back. We have to make final decisions. We will reach new conclusions. We will be facing permanent changes now. You need to make a decision. You need to decide if you've had enough. You need to decide if you're done. You need to decide if you're unhappy. You need to decide if you want something better. You need to make a decision. You can't go back. You have to make some final decisions. If you do not, the universe will make them for you, because you're going to be brought to new conclusions for the sake of permanent changes in your life, in order for that new beginning, that fresh new start to be given to you. Remember, this is a time for new beginnings, bold action, and radical honesty. If you're willing to be honest about how miserable you've been, then you should have no problem of standing the discomfort of what needs to change so you can be happy. But if you're willing to be dishonest about how happy you really are, then of course you're going to web some new webs of lies to pretend that your life is one way when it's really another way. We have to be prepared for the unexpected during this transit. So stay flexible. Trust in your own ability to navigate the chaos, no matter how things shake up. It may be that you fall on your face, but guess what? You're brave enough to withstand it. This is not the first time you would have fallen on your face, and it certainly won't be the last time. You're going to get yourself up, you're going to dust yourself off, and you're going to try again. With this potent Aries energy, we have the chance to make important changes in our lives that will benefit us well beyond this moon cycle. If you are willing to identify flaws in the system in the ways that you've been doing life thus far, you are giving yourself a chance to rebuild stronger. It's only in patching up holes that we can build a stronger foundation. Eclipse season exposes the darkness as an invitation to purify the light. It's okay to make mistakes. We all do. Those who repeatedly learn from their mistakes become masters of self-development. So embrace it. Embrace the do-overs. Start fresh. Be bold. Be unafraid. Be daring. Something must end for something else to start anew. We may be called to give up something to move forward into a new chapter in our lives. Although the new stage may be unrecognizable to us at this time, it's important that we surrender to this unknown with faith. As you know, this new moon transit is happening at the Sagittarius degree, so we're being called to trust the destination, even though we have not gone on the journey just yet. We are being called to trust that this yearning that we have for a better life is coming because there is a better life that is promised to us that is on the other end of this discomfort that we need to get over in order for us to soar. So if you're experiencing any intense emotions or any new revelations during this time, I want you to know that is perfectly normal. I love to hear about them in the comment section if you wish to share. And be sure to check out my other videos for more astrology insights and tips on how to navigate these powerful cosmic transits. Happy Aries new moon.
You can book your astrology reading at intuitivehealing.com. You can also watch videos at Intuitive Healing here on YouTube for Astrology 101 content. Listen to the Aquarius podcast on Spotify, as well as here on YouTube for your horoscope. If you're interested in astrology and love connections, you can visit at Styled Under Libra. And of course, for health and wellness and holistic healing, visit at Styled Under Virgo for all of your astrology content. Thanks so much for watching.